Ooh, that looks tasty. Folks, today the Hungry Gamer is back with another crowdfunding preview, and today we're talking about Isle of Trains All Aboard! Designed by Dan Keltner and Seth Jaffe, with art by Dennis Martinetz and published by Dranda Games. I do apologize if I mispronounce any of those names. Now, what this game is it is a resource management engine building, literally, pick up and deliver style game, which is, I guess you could say, an evolution from Isle of Trains, which is a game that came out maybe 5 or 6 years ago, and this one that I have not actually played. And what you're going to be doing is you're going to be building up your own personal train, which I have right down here, and filling it with different resources, coal, oil, boxes, and delivering it to these places around the board. At the same time, you'll be delivering customers to the different towns so they can go do their shopping or whatever it is that they need to do. Now, if you are not interested in how this game is played and just want to jump into my final thoughts, then you want to go to the timestamp on the screen right now. For those of us still here, let's quickly talk about what's going to happen in any given game. So on your turn, you're going to get to do 2 different actions. The actions you can take are, you can do a build, which means you're going to add something to your train. You can do a take, which simply means you take one card, either from the little river there or from the top of the deck. You can also always take out of the bag a new passenger if you're not going to do a take. Additionally, you can do a load action, which means you're going to take one of these cards that you have in your hand, and you'll notice up top it has the different types of inventory that they can also be. You'll notice that these cards are all multi-use, and you can take that and then you can load it into your train. I'll show you how that works in just a minute. Or you can do a deliver. A deliver means that you're going to drop off at one of these different towns or cities, whatever you want to call them, exactly what it is that they're looking for. Additionally, when you do a deliver, you can deliver people to the different cities there, and you deliver one, you simply cover up one of the tickets there. You can do a secondary delivery, which are these delivery marks kind of that are on the side here, and that one's actually flipped up the wrong way. And these are called secondary deliveries here, and you're able to do those after you've done the initial delivery. Or you can do just what is called a special delivery, which just means you're going to basically discard either a passenger or a bit of inventory that you have loaded up into your train. And for doing that, you're going to get to draw 2 cards. Now, the game's going to end when you reach the number here based on number of players. So in a 2-player game, you're only going to go to 4. And each time you do one of these big deliveries here, you'll move up 1. And each time you completely fill up one of these ticket spots, it'll move up 1 as well. Now, those are all the different actions that you can take, but the main thing you're doing in the game is you're building out your train. So if you're going to do a build action, what you're going to do is you're going to pick what it is you're trying to build. So in this case, we'll just pretend that I'm trying to build this level 1 boxcar and add it onto my train. And you'll note right here down at the bottom, hopefully you can see it, it says I can have a weight of 4 with my level 1 engine. So if I want to build that, I would look and I see that it's going to cost me 3 to build. So I would put it down, and then from my hand, I would discard 3 other cards. Each card counts as 1 payment. So I could simply do 1, 2, 3, discard these 3, put that down, and now it has been built. This particular one can hold a single box. So at some point, if I wanted to do a load action, as I said before, I could take one of my other cards here and slide it right down in there, and now I have a single box in this boxcar. You'll also note that this boxcar weighs 2, so I'm at 2 of my 4 weight I can have here. Now, another thing you can do is you can do an upgrade. So let's just move that out of the way. I'm going to put this level 1 hopper right here. I'll just put this back over there for the moment. If I have my level 1 hopper over here, and I want to build this level 2 hopper, well, I don't have to necessarily pay 4. Instead, I could upgrade this one right here, and then I pay the difference. This costs 4, this one cost 1, so I could play this for only a cost of 3. And if you look close, you'll see some of the things when you get up to level 3s are going to cost upwards of 9 coins, and since your hand limit is actually 5, you could actually never buy that if you're not able to do different upgrades. The other thing that I'd like to point out very quickly is at the top of all of these cards, they have these symbols here that are only used by your opponent. So if another player decided to load in my hopper here a single coal, well, I would get to be able to use that to make a delivery. However, they would then get 2 cards and get to do a free build action. And the same thing can be done with passengers and so on. Each different card tells you exactly what it is someone else can put in there. Eventually, however, you're going to make a delivery, and you will take the card, and it will be worth the points here on the side. However, you'll then flip it over, and now you have these 2 other secondary deliveries. And the catch here is, until you are able to complete these secondary deliveries, you cannot go do another primary delivery. So you can't just do a bunch of primary deliveries and end the game quickly. Once you've done the one, then you can flip it over and then you'll be able to do a secondary delivery. And that's the core of how this game works. There's obviously a lot more detail to it. There are these types of buildings here that you can make, which aren't going to increase your weight of your train. They're going to give you in-game scoring conditions. And there's cabooses that are going to give you extra powers and so on and so on. But really, that's mostly how this game's going to work. So what do I like about this game? The first thing is it's a whole lot of game in a teeny tiny little box. And there's a lot to be said about that, or said for that, I should say. And not a lot of components along with it. So that makes me believe that it's not going to be a very expensive game. So for what you're getting, the amount of actual components and size of the box, there's a lot of game in there. And actually, I'll talk a little more about that a little bit later on. The next thing that I like about this game is I love multi-use cards. I absolutely love them. They're fantastic. I like that you have this challenging decision that you have to make of, how do I want to use this card? Because it always has the value of using it to pay for something. But the challenge of deciding, do I want to make this part of my train or use it to load something? Along with that, do I want to load for myself or do I want to load my opponent's train and get some kind of bonus? There's lots of really, really clever decisions and dilemmas that you find yourself in when you're trying to figure out exactly how does you want to do all that. So that, I think that really works well. I like that it's a very quick game. I like that once you have grasped the game, it's not that hard to understand. It's not that hard to play. Again, a little more on that later on. And I also like the amount of different things that you can use. I like that there are 5 or 6 different types of train cars that you can get, and then you also have all the different buildings. So there's all those different things that you're dealing with, that you're playing with, that you're managing. You're having to decide, do I want to go down the oil route right now? Do I want to go down the coal route right now? Do I want to try to do oil in boxes? Like, what is it that I want to do? I like that. I also like the way the delivery system works. I like that there's 4 different things you can always do in a delivery action. So if you play your cards right, pun intended, you can do 4 deliveries at once, which is an awesome, awesome feeling if you can pull it off. So all of that I really enjoy. And again, it's all these things that are wrapped up in what is a short and quick game. So what are my quibbles about the game? And I only have a few, and 2 of which I think are substantive, and one is just kind of a warning. The warning I kind of alluded to before. This game is far more complex than you think it's going to be when you look at the components and you look at the rules and you look at the box. I played this with a friend of mine who is not a hobby gamer. She's not at all. And at the end, that was her take on it, it was just more than she wanted it to be. It was a lot of stuff. So this really is a game for the hobby gamer. So that's just a warning. It's neither good nor bad, but just something to think about. Now, the next thing is, it just strikes me as odd that when you make the delivery, you take the card away. And I understand why, because no one else can do it. You made the delivery, but it makes the island disappear. It's weird looking to me. And now, it's possible that I've been doing it wrong. You're just supposed to mark it or something, and you don't actually take it away, but it's just odd. And then my only truly substantive quibble that I have with the game is, I found 3 games in a row. And now, if you know me, you know that I have terrible luck until I have good luck. Either everything goes great or it's just a disaster. In 3 games in a row, I spent 3, 4, or 5 turns just drawing cards. Now, I might have been loading one of my things into my opponent's train in order to draw cards. Maybe I did a take and took a passenger and then delivered a passenger somewhere so I could draw cards. But basically, all I was doing was trying to draw cards so I could get something that I could use. And at one point, I even got myself up to 6 cards. And everything that I had, I think, was cabooses, and it was engines, and I already had a level 3 engine, and it was the exact type of inventory car, cargo car that I already had. And I just needed something else. I needed a boxcar or a hopper, and literally for 3 turns in one game, and then 5 turns in another, and something around that in the third game, I just couldn't get anything. So I just found myself just spinning my wheels, and that was intensely frustrating to me. And I think the reason is because even though there is the market, because there are so many different types of things. There are cabooses, there are engines, there are buildings, there are hoppers, there are cargo cars, there are coaches, and there are tankers. So if you need 1 or 2 of those things, well, that's a whole bunch of things. There's only 3 of them out there. And if there's only those 3 out there, you're going to find yourself just top decking, and hoping that you get lucky. And so to me, I found that personally frustrating as it happened multiple times. I will also note that in 2 of those 3 games, I actually came back and won. So as far as the outcome of the game goes, it didn't make a huge difference, but it did frustrate me. And if you're like me, that might be something that stands out to you. And I suspect that's something that is an easy fix with a house rule or something like that. So there you have it, folks. That is Isle of Trains All Aboard for someone that doesn't really care about train games. And I enjoy Ticket to Ride. That's it. Well, I like Imperial Spells in Steam, but that's like Magic Train, so not just train. For someone who doesn't really care about train games, I enjoyed this game. I think it does a lot of things right. It's a fun little economic engine builder. Again, a lot of game in a little box. I think if you are someone that's into this style of games, kind of, it's not really pick up and deliver, but it feels kind of like pick up and deliver, then this is one that you should probably check out. I know I spent a lot of time on that one quibble there, but that's just because it frustrated me intensely. The people that I played with, they seemed nonplussed by it because either it didn't happen to them or it just doesn't bother them. But all in all, I think this is one to check out. Again, if you're into train games, certainly if you liked the original Isle of Trains, or if you're just kind of looking for something that's a small box that's weight of game belies the physical weight and size of the box, is one that you certainly want to check out. So there you have it, folks. As always, if I made any mistakes in the rules overview, please let me know in the comments with the timestamp so I can get that into the Klingon subtitles. If you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.